got it.
Every time we get that, you have to say it, don't you? Got it.
I got it.
So hello everybody, hello ladies, and welcome to our money mindset session, lunch and learn with myself and Jules Kelly. As you know, some of you know, we've come together to create space and freedom, which is for high performing women and women who want space and freedom in their life. So what we wanted to talk about today and to do a lunch and learn on the money mindset and self-worth and how that affects us in our lives, in every part of our lives, or not, depending on where you are with your money mindset. But for what's going on in the world right now, when you watch the news and then you hear about, you know, the petrol prices going up, and then you hear about the energy prices rising, and there's just so much negative news out there. So it was a case of, okay, let's see what we can do to help you with your beliefs around money, if they are limiting you from, you know, creating the life that you want. And let's help you, you know, by giving you some information and some exercises on that. So I'm just going to share my screen. Jules, did you want to say anything while I'm
all I want to say is, if you can pop any questions, or any, if Claire, if I can't even speak, if either of us ask any questions, if you pop your answers in the chat box, and then what we can do is we can use those as we go through, to try and help make this as interactive and as useful as possible. And it's yeah, this is literally an overview, a quick 45 minutes to an hour, because this is quite a deep subject, so we can go much deeper in it, but we'll talk to you about that at the end.
Okay, brilliant, thank you. So can you all see the screen? Can you see it, Jules?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, I'm looking at, you're all up here, and then the screen's here. Okay, so welcome to Money Mindset. I am a money magnet and money flows to me easily. This is a really good affirmation, a useful affirmation to have. It may sound a little bit crazy, but in sessions that we've been on and we've learned that this is a really good affirmation. I think it might come from Jensen Chero, who's written the book I Am a Badass at Making Money. First book that I read on money mindset about 6 or 7 years ago, and it absolutely blew my mind and opened me up to the limiting beliefs I had around money and around where they came from. So we're going to be talking about money stories and beliefs and money myths in a little bit later on. But first of all, it was about creating this space for telling you about, I think some of you will already been introduced to the 12 universal laws of the law of attraction. There's a lot more being spoken about that now. I think some people thought it was quite woo or quite spiritual, but it's not. It's actually scientific. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But it's around, if it's all well and good wanting to manifest that money and those things into your life. However, you do still have to take action. It's not like you can just actually sit there and like money's going to start raining all over you. Depending on your human design as well. But it's about really changing and getting into the subconscious mind around, what am I telling myself about money? What do I believe about money? What are my thoughts? How does it make me feel? Do I believe that I have to work hard for my money? So we'll be asking you some of those questions in a little bit later on. And I know Jules will be looking in the chat as well, because I can see that there's 2 things in the chat there now. But just going back to where your beliefs are formed. So from a child, from the day that you're born into your family, into the life that the family that you're living with, you will have the subconscious mind takes in every single thing that you are learning, everything that you see, hear, feel, touch and taste is forming in your subconscious mind at that time. So if you as a child see a part of a family that are struggling to make money, or that you see that your mum and dad work really, really hard to get money and there's not enough coming in, then that's the belief that you would probably more or less take on. And then it will then go into later life, and then you'll just reinforce it with the beliefs that you've already picked up in your life. Even stuff like, your parents or people in your family arguing over money, and thinking that money can be quite painful in that way, to say, oh, well, whenever there's an argument, it's always about money or not having money. So all of these beliefs will form in that mind, and they will stay there into the fascias, into the body, the physical body, and that is how you will then see life, unless you then become aware of how you think and feel, which is why I always talk about meditation as part of a self-awareness tool. But this is about the start of that awareness today. Some of you might already have been and been working on your money mindset, which is great. But for you coming here today, if you want to change something, there's some stuff that we can show you to really help you change that. As I say, it's just a quick session, but you will definitely pick up some tools and techniques from myself and Jules today. So talking about mumbo jumbo or science, or as I say, talking about the woo and the science side of things, everything is energy. And that's all there is to it. Every single thing is energy. So whether it's the desk in front of you, it's the computer that you're touching, it all vibrates at a frequency, and everything is made up of atoms, and in those atoms are space. And so there's nothing is solid matter. So what when you can think something, and I think it's Bob Proctor who says, when you can think a thought, when you have a thought, your thoughts can become real, because they can, if you can see it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. And that was something I read a long time ago. And it's literally like, if you tell yourself that you need to go to the toilet, and I'm sitting here at my desk right now and I know where the toilet is, but I see it in my mind, and then I start to walk to go to the toilet. It's just like, if you need to get to a destination, whether it's work, whether it's a holiday, a destination, you see where you want to go, and then you make it happen to get there. So it's everything being energy, and your energy can be affected by what you think. So if you're thinking negatively about something, it will lower your vibration. It will keep you in lack. It will keep you in survival. It will keep you safe. It doesn't want you to be happy. It just wants you to be safe, the mind. So it's about moving from, okay, if I'm in a low vibration and I'm thinking quite low level about money or about what I think I'm worth, I need to change what I tell myself. I need to change my thoughts to be able to be open to receive and to be open to new possibilities. So rather than having that narrow focus and just, literally focus on paying the bills and all of this stuff that needs to be done, and the kids and the parents I might have to look after, it's keeping you in survival. So it disallows you from then opening up and then seeing a whole world of possibility, and seeing that money is actually everywhere, opportunity is everywhere. But if we only focus our energy on those negative limiting things, it's going to keep us there. In the meantime, is there any questions in the chat? They've just put the lawnmower back on, so I'm just going to close them.
There's no questions just yet.
Okay.
Just me saying. So however your screen is set up, ladies, there'll be a chat box either at the bottom or at the side. You click on that, you can put any questions in there. There's nothing in there at the moment though, Queen Claire.
Fabulous. Okay. Let's move forward. Okay, so as I said before, the law of attraction, it's one of the 12 universal laws of the universe, and it states like attracts like, and what energy you put out, you will attract, and it's happening right now. So everything I've just said in the previous slide, what you focus on, you create more of. So if you focus on the shit, you'll get the shit. If you focus on the good, you'll get the good. I'm just going to let someone else in. Emma's just come into the room. So yeah, it's happening right now for you. So if you're having a good day today, I hope you are all having a good day today, then that's what you'll create. That's what you'll get more of. If you tell yourself that you're going to have a bad day or things are going wrong, then that's what you're going to focus on, and that's what you'll get. And it's the same with money. It's the same with opportunities. Okay. the law of attraction is for everything. It's not just for positive people. There's that whole thing around toxic positivity as well, about being positive at all times for being positive's sake. And I am a really, really positive person, but I am also a real human being. And I'm also into appreciating the highs and lows of life, the darkness and light of life, because it's got to have that contrast. No one ever has just a perfect positive life. So we're not all about, just being positive for the sake of being positive. The law of attraction is for everybody. And the more that you learn about it, the more that you can begin to change the way you think, the way you feel. It affects all of the results that come to you. The universe does not discriminate and it does not judge. There's no judgment out there whatsoever. I learned this quite a while back from Abraham Hicks, and the information that flows from Esther Hicks, and it's from Abraham. It's all about the universe is here. You are part of the universe. We are all connected. We are all energy. And it's easier for us to flow through the universe by trusting things, whether we think that they're scary or whether we think they're absolutely, amazing and exciting. We are here for a reason. And we've been brought to this planet at this time for a reason, whether you know what that is or whether you don't right now. We make it harder by holding on to things. So holding on to trying to control our lives, trying to control relationships, trying to control the people in our lives. We cannot control other people. The only thing that we can do is ourselves. So it's about trusting the universe, really connecting to the higher self. And again, that might sound quite deep for people, but when you connect to the higher self and you come out of the head and into the heart space, you're there, you trust, and you're in the present moment, and present moment is here, and you're safe right here, right now. That is it. So when you come from a place of presence and that place of stillness, then that's when more things start to flow into your life, because you notice the more your vibration is higher, so they come in. So yeah, this is available for everything good and bad.
Can I just add to that, Claire?
Of course you can, Jules. Yeah,
we're literally like a transmitter. So you could sit there thinking, okay, I'm positive, but in your heart, if you feel that that's a load of bull, then your transmitter knows that you're transmitting something that isn't real, and you're just going to attract more of the stuff that you're actually truly thinking inside it. So actually every thought, every feeling, everything is transmitting without you even thinking about it, consciously thinking about it. So it's about the practice, isn't it? It's about the everyday practice of trying to be in a positive mind space, in a positive state, so that your transmission is sending out those positive signals so that you can attract that positivity back. And as Claire said, the toxic positivity is the stuff that goes on when you're saying one thing, but actually you believe in something completely different, and that isn't going to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's just contradicting what you're sending out to the universe, isn't it? So again, an example to use is when working with clients, and it's like, okay, I want to do 10K months. But you know what? I'll be okay with getting 2K a month. So again, you're sending the mixed signals to the universe. And it's whether you believe that you can actually make £10,000 a month or 2K. And even though you might say, I'm meditating, I'm trying, I'm journaling, everything, deep down, if you don't sort that subconscious belief about it and reprogram, you can say all of the stuff in your head, but if it's not connected to the stuff in the heart and in the belief system, it's not going to happen. And this is what people try and do. They're like, I'm doing all the things, I'm doing all the work, but they're not really delving in to make that positive change, because there's something just not tweaking. They've not done the work fully and in the deep transformation. It needs to come from every core of your body and every belief. And again, it's that awareness with the thought and with how you feel, and going, I'm saying all of the stuff, but you know what, I don't actually believe it. I really need to work on that and where that's come from, which is obviously what we'll talk about in a minute.
And Beverly's just put heart and head have to align, which is spot on.
100%. Love that, Bev. Yeah. And again, I'll talk about this till the cows come home. If you have that awareness, you work on the mindset, you have a daily meditation practice. It brings the two hemispheres of the brain together, left, right, head, heart, and it allows you to become even more clear and aligned with what your purpose is and what you came here for. So let me see. Let's talk about beliefs around money. So does anybody want to put in the chat what you believe about money? Just all of the stuff that's come, whether it's from childhood, whether it's now, any belief that you have about money or any money stories.
I think for me, it's all those little sayings like money doesn't grow on trees, you know, all the things your parents say to you.
Yeah.
And then even though you know money doesn't grow on trees, it instills something in you to say that money's hard to come by.
Yeah.
So it's those little things for me.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Love it, Martine. It's funny, you know, because we've got some stuff, some slides with the beliefs on. And I think yours has just come up as that money doesn't grow on trees in the first one. Exactly, that is one of mine in our family. What else? Any others, ladies, that you want to share? You can put it in the chat or you can come off mute.
They say one is money always goes to money.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think we've got that one as well, Em. Okay, let me have a little look. I'll show you. Money doesn't grow on trees. Do you think I'm made of money? Do we remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Put it back, we can't afford it. Rich people are snobs. It's okay for them, they can afford it. Just letting someone else in.
Why is it?
The government makes sure we have no money. So the government gets a lot of blame for a lot of things because it's easy to blame them. And I'm not saying that they're not to blame for some stuff, but it's all that everything is out of our control and we, you know, it's their fault, not mine. It's up to me as a human being, as it's my responsibility to take charge of my life, nobody else. So if I know and have that responsibility, I'm going to do more stuff around it rather than playing the victim and blaming everybody else in my life around how my life has gone. But there's a lot of people who are not aware. And again, through no fault of their own, really, because it depends on the life they're upbringing, their beliefs and who they're hanging around with. But it's our job. I know it's my job as a coach is to help people create that awareness so that they know that they can have a life where they have choices and they can have a good life, because that's what the universe wants for us. That's what life is all about. It's not about struggle. It shouldn't be about struggle at all, but we believe it to be.
Beverly just put, mine is around the role of saviour. The more I earn, the expectation of certain family members increases, rebailing them out.
Yeah, who's put that?
It's from Beverly.
Yeah.
It's a very valid point.
Yeah. And again, where does that come from, Bev? You don't have to answer that right now. You can if you want, but where do you think that comes from?
And how does it make you feel?
Yeah.
Everything has to be shared. Okay. And that was from growing up, was it? I was one of 4 single parent family. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And there is that thing around telling your kids to share, but you know what? Again, as working in the world of personal development for 20 years, I'm so glad that I have, because I noticed the beliefs that I've had of my parents that I've then recognized what I'm saying to my kids about you need to share. And you know what? Sometimes they don't need to share because they're enjoying something. And then we're making them give something up for someone else, for someone. It's like, just analyze the situation. Why do you have to share? Because what about you? What about you filling up your cup? And then you'll have more to give because you've looked after yourself and topped it up to then share. So,
Bev, does that make you feel resentful now? Or is that just an accepted?
she's typing away. I can see the concentration.
I was the only one who got a part-time job when at school, but I had to share.
Were you the eldest?
Very
Beth?
resentful. Were you the eldest? Yeah.
Or the only girl?
Emma's put, I've always had to struggle. That's from my mum. Yeah. Second eldest.
Okay. again, these are all these subconscious things that have come up. And I know when I feel like when I do, you know, launches or a big shift of money comes in, one of my things was to, let's spend it on everyone else. Let's make sure everybody else is okay. And as women, we've got that in us to want to make sure everybody else is okay, and then forgetting to look after ourselves again. And I definitely think the women that are on this call, knowing most of you, we are aware. We are, you know, very self-aware, but where are we in the discipline of giving ourselves that time for self-care and self-love? Because we still give, because it's in us to give, and it's great, but making sure that you're open to receive as well. Have those hands open and receive the help and receive the money and receive the love as well as it's given.
I walk away from any arguments over money.
Who's that? Is that Dawn?
Yeah.
Dawn, I couldn't see you. Go on.
I've refused to argue over money. I'll just walk away. If say money was left to me and there was an argument over it, I would just walk away and leave them to it.
I don't blame you either.
And is that you walking away because you don't want the argument, or it's because you just don't want to waste your energy?
Yeah, it's ugly.
Yeah.
Any arguments over money, I find it ugly and I don't want to be a part of it.
Okay,
So,
and that's belief as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's principles, isn't it? My dad owes me something from £100 from last year, and it's the principle because he thinks he should get these things off you for free. So the debate over, and it might be a year, but out of principle, and it's that boundary thing, isn't it? And I've done a small shift on a boundary, going totally off the subject. Everybody seems to walk all over my little world, and I've got a little Yorkshire Terrier that I might shout in a minute. And everybody comes in, and I've got a treat box right by the back door of the kitchen door. And I say to everybody, don't give Betty any more treats. She can have a couple, but that's it. And they stand there and still give them. And so that to be fair, that box has been sitting there for 5 years in this week. And I've moved it this week, and everybody's gone, well, where's the box? And I've just put it to the other side of the kitchen where everybody's got to cross me to get to it, and nobody is. But my mum last week went, oh, Betty, Emma's not letting me give you any more. And you're just going, it's a boundary thing, isn't it? If you're just going, how about a bit of respect? I sat there and thought about it the other day. I thought everybody's just walked all over. I'm saying no. My mum looks at me and still feeds the dog. And you're just going, well, where's the...
Yeah,
it's
that boundary scenario again, isn't it? But with money. So,
yeah, and I like that. It's the awareness, Emma, that you've got with that, then to set the boundaries up for yourself, because just something so simple as if you ask someone not to do something and then they step that boundary, but it's because in their world they've always just stepped on your boundaries anyway. So it's like a whole nother level of retraining people to go, this is the boundaries, and this is where I need to start.
It's difficult being that parent though, isn't it? You know, being the daughter parent scenario of, you know, you've always supposed to respect your elders.
But then that's another belief again, isn't it? That's been put on us, because there's a whole shift around, well, what about respecting your children? Because it's not always the elders have got the answer, and that's where I'm at with my kids. My kids tell me some really good, they give me some amazing feedback, and I go, wow, yeah, you're right, I was an absolute knob then. And it makes me think, because they're their own people, you're your own person. So yeah, we're talking about money today, but it's all of that belief that we have around everything that can limit us and stop us from moving forward in our lives. And people can stop, but well, they don't. But if we let them, they can. But you can do whatever you want. Thanks for that. Go on, Jules, did you want to say something?
Oh yeah, Beverly's just put in, read The Rich People Are Snobs. I am the aunt who turns up dripping in gold, apparently. This is because I am practicing boundaries and say no more. She's put, Sods can't speak, hubby's just come in. Well done, Emma, for strengthening the boundaries. It is about boundaries, and it's how people respond to those boundaries is their issue and not yours.
Yeah, it's like I changed my car. I had a Nissan Juke. Anyway, long story, gearbox faulty, all the rest of it. And I thought, do I go to a TT? And a TT is just for you, isn't it? You know what I mean? You can get people in a squash, but you know, realistically, it's just for you. And my mum's got bad back and she can't get down to it. She's tried, she's pretended once, and that's it. And it's that boundary thing again, isn't it? But at the same time, the concept of everybody thinking, no, it's an old TT, I'm doing really well because I've changed it to a TT. Price wise, it's the same price as the bloody Duke.
Yeah.
But in concept, everybody thinks I'm doing really well because I've got TT in the drive now.
Let them think.
Yeah, let them think, and you are
Let them
doing well,
think.
Emma. Yeah, let them, and you again, it's that choice.
You
know,
do.
yeah, you do what you want to do. That's what you're here for. Your intentions are all good behind everything you do. So, some money myths. The stuff that Martine said before, what we've all heard, money doesn't grow on trees, but there's actually 90 trillion pounds or dollars is it in the global economy, so there is a lot of money out there. It's better
Money was made of paper, so it does actually grow on trees.
Yeah.
Plastic now. That's what my kids say to me. Yeah, it does actually, Mum. It grows on trees, it's paper.
Is it paper now though? Because
it's plastic now, it's more crap, but yeah.
And it's better to hold on to money and not spend it, because this might be another belief or a myth that you've got. So, and then the whole thing around money is currency is energy, it needs to flow. So if you're a business owner and you're selling something to another business or to a customer, you'll have a price and there's an energy exchange. And if you're feeling low in vibration about what you're charging your customer, then the service that you give will feel low, because you're thinking, well, I'm giving you all of this and you're paying me this. So it's like, make sure that you feel right about the price that you're going to be charging people, so that energetic exchange flows easier. So if you up your price to what you feel is right and what you feel you're worth, you up it. So when you're delivering your service, it's really easy, and you're getting that energetic alignment back as well from it. It goes with the fact if you put your prices up too high and you're going, oh, this doesn't feel right, then you'll probably feel either guilty or overgive. So it's really, because we've all got our own way of how we feel about money and our own ways of measuring our own self-worth, but make sure it's right for you and whatever you're delivering, and just having it is money is currency is energy. Before we had money, people used to exchange bloody potatoes for a cow. It's that exchange, and seeing it like that. The more that we start to see it like that, the better we'll feel about what we charge and how we make money. And money is an easy topic to talk about. And then I think someone mentioned this one as well before, it takes money to make money. Money goes to money. So J.K. Rowling, she had not a penny, not a pot to piss in, did she? And she's now made 1 billion from writing her stories on Harry Potter. She literally was a single mom, and she went to a cafe to write her books. If anyone knows her story, it's absolutely inspirational. The same with another guy, Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, and the author of A New Earth. He was homeless until he started putting his messages out around spirituality into the world, and he's absolutely killing it now, making a fortune. But it's that whole thing about do what you love, feel good about it, and attract in what's meant to be, and live in that passion, that purpose. Always question whether your perception is fact or belief. So that whole thing around, oh, money goes to money, or it takes money to make money, then is that actually factual, or is that a belief? Because majority of the time it's a belief that's come from somewhere. So if it's not 100% true 100% of the time, it's a belief. Beliefs can be changed. Any questions on that? Or anything you want to say, Julie?
Nothing in the comments. No, I completely agree with that. I wrote the slide.
Sure, you'd agree with it. Good job.
I love and agree with it. Well done, Jules. Anything? No questions for now.
Okay, so I'll pass over to you, Jules.
Okie doke. You can put those bits up. So whatever your money beliefs are now, there'll be a story behind it all. That'll make you question things like, or I'm going to ask you, some people say I feel sick when I have to check my bank balance. Some people don't even look at the bank balance and they just guess along the way and hope and pray when they go what I call flash and dash with the card, whether it's going to go through or not. Some people will avoid paying bills or even opening them and just let them stack up. Some people will not like asking about money. So if there's any people with their own business on here, actually sending out an invoice, it makes them feel physically sick, even though that is the energy exchange that we've talked about. You're sorry, plumbers come to sort a toilet. That's okay, Emma. I don't like asking for money. So if you're providing a service or you're providing a product, then you have to charge for it. And if you don't charge for it, or you keep giving everything for free, like Claire said, it devalues what you're doing. And it shows that you're not believing that your service is actually worth what you say it's worth. So actually the invoicing bit is the most important bit. And part of me used to think, I learned this many moons ago, is almost welcoming in the bills, bringing the bills and bringing the way of paying for them. I did not so long ago, well, a couple of years ago now, I did, oh, what's his name? I did the manifestation, the money manifestation. Was it a 14-day money manifestation with Deepak Chopra? And on day 6, I won £333 on a horse bet, which I never do apart from someone gave me this tip. And then the next day I got a bill in for £333.12. Now that just shows you that energetic match there. So I feel awkward about asking for invoices to be paid. If I invest my money, what's if I don't make any more? It's that fear. So I'm going to invest all that money and you're expecting that investment to make something from you. But if you're fearing it, again, you're putting the signal of fear out rather than the signal of, right, bring it. Let's take some inspired action about making that money and bringing it in. Some people are anxious about spending money. My mum's the same. She says, oh, don't spend all that. Don't spend all that. And I try and explain, obviously 75, 76, she's fighting that 76 next week, that the money has to move, the energy has to move. She has it hidden behind her jumpers. She says, well, if she snuffs it, that's where it is. Mum, it's no good behind your jumpers, love. Go and spend it. And then when you have got the money, some people feel guilty for having it. But again, that guilt comes from a belief. Does anyone resonate with any of that?
Yeah.
Does anyone resonate with any of those beliefs that we're putting up there? My mum is a spender. When she has it, she spends it as she is not used to having it. Okay. And that's great. And does that work for her, Martine? Or are you thinking, oh, mum?
No, I'm just thinking of habits. You know, when people form habits like self-sabotage and they get in their own way. So it's like, because she's always been a single mum and she's always had to, her belief is she's always had to graft and work really hard for money. So the way she's raised her daughters, you've got to work hard for money. You've got to work super hard for it, because it's as easy as it comes, it goes. So when she has it, she feels like she'll lose it. So what she does is she overspends. So when she gets her money, she'll spend it in a short space of time because she's not used to having it. And then she can go like the last couple of weeks of the month with no money and have to borrow because she's so used to not having it. So it's just, I'm just thinking of just like habits and things and people sabotaging themselves and the behaviors and their beliefs that they have around money, and when they pass it down. Because I used to have the same belief, but luckily enough, I've changed some of my beliefs, not all, but some.
Brilliant. So the last two that you put up there, Claire, I feel like I have to give money away and I feel bad for spending money on myself. So Beverly said the last two for me really, really resonate. And I think that is one of the things that comes up for us when in our circle in personal development. And one of the biggest blocks of people working with us isn't that they don't want to work with us. It's because they think they can't justify spending that money on themselves, because that's frivolous. And And that again is just a huge belief. And Claire and I have both spent thousands and thousands of pounds on our own development. And for those of you that know my story or don't know my story, I was disabled 5 years ago. I'm now no longer disabled. And I made a decision that actually the fear of staying where I was, bedbound and not able to move and no quality of life, was far more fearful than actually finding a way to invest in myself and my recovery and my wellness. And so again, that I had to do the inner work for that. That just doesn't just happen. But again, is those stories that we tell ourselves. And going through this whole 5-year journey has taught me so many things, that you have to challenge that inner belief system. Dawn's just put, I won the lottery £1,800 years ago, 5 numbers, and I felt like I was in trouble. Wow.
It's strange, isn't it, the way it can make you feel like you feel guilty for having it, probably, because it's like there's that other belief of, oh my God, there's other people in the world suffering with no money, and here's me with some money. That was a thing for me. I need to keep giving it away because I don't know what to do with it. But yeah.
Where did you feel that discomfort, Dawn?
When I saw the numbers, I felt like I was in trouble. It's weird feeling. Very weird.
Can you understand where that came from?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
So what we're going to do now, I want you to all think of think of the statement, your money is either a yes or no answer. Think of a statement that you can test, because I'm going to go and do the human compass with you. So the human compass is kinesiology, and it's basically working with your subconscious to really get to grips with what your subconscious believes your money mindset to be. So can you go to the next slide, Claire?
Mm-hmm. Oh, there was another thing there. Okay.
There is a cap on the money I can earn. Well, we know that that's rubbish, don't we?
Yeah.
So Claire, do you want to explain your money belief around that cap on the money?
Yeah, just before we do the human compass, my belief when I was in the corporate world, like, God, you're going back probably when I was about 23, 24. And I used to look at jobs, internal jobs, when I worked in QVC, and there'd be different jobs in the business. And I'd look, instead of looking at the job role, I'd look at like the salary and go, oh, I'm not worth that much, so I won't go for that job. Even though you'd look at the skills and competencies and it'd be like, but you can do them, you can do all of that. Why wouldn't you go for it? Like, oh, because people like me don't get that much money. And then it was only in the fact that I saw somebody else get that job who didn't really have as much skill or knowledge, and I thought, wow, all what they have had is the belief in themselves and the confidence to go for something, and they've got it. So good on them. So that's what I need to do. I need to take my attachment off my value. If I want that job and I've got a passion for it, go for it. And then that's it. But I used to label and go, well, look, when in the Liverpool Echo, when they used to put jobs in there, I don't even know if they still do now. I go, no, I'm not worth any of that. And then I'd look at like the other like admin type jobs. Yeah. So that was something where I always had a cap on. People like me don't make that much money.
Yeah. Right. So I want everyone to have a statement that they can test, and I'm just going to show you. So the human compass is something that's part of it's kinesiology, but we use it as part of the belief coding process. And belief coding, I don't know whether anyone's heard of it, but belief coding is basically a collaboration of lots of different science-backed modalities that help us access details about our belief system, and it also helps us to understand where those beliefs come from, and it also then helps us to remap those beliefs. Now that is a longer process, but I'm going to show you the human compass, and then you can use that to identify what you believe to be true. And then once you know what is actual belief, then you can think, right, where am I going to go with this, or how am I going to deal with it? So I'm just going to show you very quickly. You need to have been pretty well hydrated for this to work for you, and you've also got to believe that it's going to work for you. So I'm just going to show you very quickly how it works. I'm going to stand up, just check my zips undone. There you go. So I'm going to stand up and look sideways on, and you want to have your legs shoulder width apart. You want to drop into your body, and you want to cast your eyes downwards or close your eyes, and you want to say to you, you're gonna do this with your name. So I'm going to say, my name is Jules Kelly. You see my body went forward. My name is Barry Manilow. It's back. This looks mad, but it does work. So my yes response is forward, my no response is back. So I love cream rock licorice. There you go. Yes. I don't like tin sardines. No. Okay. So then you can ask yourself the question, I am able to make limitless amounts of money. There you go. So my belief is yes, my subconscious belief is yes, that I can. Okay. So the reason that I want you to have your statement is so that you can test your subconscious beliefs. So first of all, just want you to tap here. So you get your side of your hand, if you can see, and just tap there and just repeat, I am open.
I am open
To releasing any negative beliefs.
to releasing any negative beliefs
That no longer serve me.
that no longer serve me.
And whilst I haven't got a clue what this is all about,
I haven't got a clue what this is all about.
I'm trusting that the human compass will work for me.
I'm trusting that the human compass will work for me.
Okay, so up you get.
I'll just go on mute.
Right, so you all know each other's your own names, and if you haven't had enough liquid today, it may not work. But if you go in with the mindset that it will, and now not all of you will go forward for yes and backwards for no. You're looking for your own response. Okay. So you say, my name is. Claire's going forward. I can see some swaying going on there, girls. Have you got your yes or your no responses? Put your hands by your sides, Claire. I don't think being 7 months pregnant helps. Felt a pull though. All right, Martine, did you get your yes or your no response? You did. Okay. And what was the question that you asked? You can come off, Mike. Go on to Mike. You can talk to me if you want, rather than typing.
Yeah. The question I asked was that I make more than enough money to live the life of my dreams, and I felt to sway forward and backwards, so I wobbled.
Okay. So that was, you said I am able to.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wobbled, so that wasn't a definite yes or no.
No, it was a wobble, but I don't know whether, being 7 months pregnant and having a big ball belly doesn't help with your centre of
You look
gravity,
bloody
does
radiant,
it?
let me tell you.
Thanks.
Okay, so you could try that again. Once I have a drink of water, try it again. You could even ask yourself, do I have a limited belief about making unlimited amounts of money?
Yeah.
And if it is, then we go to the next stage. What about anyone else want to share? Emma's still swaying. What about Tanya? Did it work for you, Tanya?
Oh yeah, I asked myself, am I capable of earning the money that I'm worthy of?
Yeah.
And I swayed forward, but I don't know if I made myself sway forward. But on the yes and no questions, I was sort of going back and forth, and I went forward for that one.
Forward for yes.
Yes, sorry, yes, yeah.
Forward for yes, and so what we first of all do, we decide, we find out what our yes and no is, and then we can really drill down what our beliefs are. So you do believe then that you're capable of making the money.
Yeah.
If you're not making money, is there something else that's holding you back? So again, go through those questions, find out what really hone in on the questions, because if you are not where you want to be, you could find out, ask the question, am I, let's think, am I doing the right thing now to enable me that? Or again, you can use this for anything. Should I have cheese on toast for tea? No. You know, literally, that human compass is your subconscious working for you. So again, if you can be as specific as you possibly can be, and you then find the answers no, and you do have a limiting belief around this, around anything, you can find out then where it comes from. I'll share that with you again in a second. How about you, Dawn? You're still up there. Can't hear you.
Oh, can we take it off? I'm still on mute.
Can you
unmute, Dawn? Thanks, lovely.
Oh, sorry. No, mine's all good. I've asked, am I going to make unlimited amounts of money? Yes. I'm afraid of making lots of money. No.
Really?
And is my book going to be successful? Yes.
You're just loving life, aren't you?
I am.
Perfect. But that in itself, so those answers that Dawn's got there, from an energetic point of view, from a motivational point of view, from an energy point of view, her vibration is high. Her vibration is high, so she's so well placed to just call that in. What about Emma? What about you? Are you still on the toilet?
Sorry, I've got a lawnmower being cut in the cemetery opposite, and the church opposite, and a Yorkshire Terrier that's going bloody ballistic. Yeah, so in between time, I asked if I like sardines, because actually I don't either, and I did bounce backwards. It's like as though you feel it in the heel of your feet, don't you? It's like it sort of goes to your heel. And I asked the question of, will I make lots of money? And it definitely went forwards. It didn't sort of hover backwards, it just went forwards. So I asked a couple of questions like that, and it kept going forwards rather than, backwards.
Okay, so again, use that so your limiting belief, if you feel like there might be some limiting beliefs around, you could go through those questions that were on the thing. There is a cap of money that I can make. Ask that question. I feel bad about spending money on myself. Ask that question. Again, you can go through, I feel guilty for having money. Ask that question. And if the answer is yes, it'll be down to a belief. It'll be down to a memory that made you feel that way at some point during your life. And actually, some of our beliefs can be inherited. So we can inherit our beliefs, generational beliefs as well. So and again, with all of the conditioning that we go through, that also reinforces our beliefs. So are you still with us, Beverly? What about you, Debs? Did you manage to do a sway?
Oh, you're on mute. Oh, yeah, no, you're not, but we can't hear you.
Can you?
She's not on mute.
No.
Might be she's. You press something on your laptop, Deb?
Okay, you can pop a note in if you want. I didn't move, but I've a full busy house today, so there's distractions, but we'll try again later and report back. That's Beverly. That's fine. So this the human compass is brilliant. What you need to do first of all is just open your energetic pathways, and you do that by tapping. So tell yourself that you're open to clearing any limited belief or finding out what they are, and then you can ask yourself those questions. And then once you've asked yourself those questions, you can then ask yourself, whatever, did this limiting belief occur between the age of 0 and whatever age you are. Okay, and then generally a lot of the time it's yes, sometimes it's no, and then it can happen in the womb and it can happen in former lives, which is a bit bloody mind-blowing, I know. And then you can get, if it says yes, then you'll break it down. So then if let's say if you're 40, you go, did it happen, did my limited belief occur between the age of 0 and 20, yes or no? And you can define, you just keep going until you've got the age, and then you've got the age that occurred.
I've got as far back as Australia for that last one, Jules.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So what was the one that we worked at? I do that many, I can't remember. Dawn, was yours about
claustrophobia, wasn't it?
Oh,
so
claustrophobia. Yeah.
As far back as I was 5 and we were in Australia, and it was in where we were staying, it happened, and I was trapped somewhere, but I can't get any further than that yet. I'm still working on it though.
Yeah, brilliant. So, but your subconscious is like your hard drive. It records absolutely everything that you might not necessarily remember consciously. So for me, one of my limiting beliefs was that I wasn't good enough, and I know a lot of people have this. It wasn't good enough, and that I felt that was from when I was 3 years old, when I was pushed from my great-grandmother's knee when she was reading a story to my sister. And from that point, it wasn't that wasn't the reason for all of the trauma in my life, but it did set my stall out about how I showed up. So I had to work at a million miles an hour. I had to work to be the best. I had to keep going to prove that I was actually good enough. And it wasn't until I was 47 that I realized that that was all a load of bollocks. But that had determined how long I was within a past relationship for, how I was allowed people to treat me, how I worked, and blah de blah de blah. When I've done some further deep work, actually that goes even further down, and I believe coded back to when I was already in the cot. And I went back to that memory. So this stuff is deep rooted, but the positive in it is that we can change the way that we show up. We can change the way that we show up, and we can change our belief system. So at the moment, if you feel guilty about having money, then we can change that. If you feel that you can't spend money on yourself, again, we can change that. And by changing that, will change your energy, which will change your transmission, which will change the reality of your world.
Jules, I just did my human compass about, do I feel guilty about winning money?
Yeah.
And I stayed back and it was a no.
Well, maybe you're over that now.
Yeah.
Because I think with you, Dawn, you've had such a transformation. So we've worked with Dawn. Claire and I both worked with Dawn, and Dawn's literally, how old are you now, Dawn?
58.
Bloody the youngest 58-year-old you've ever met. But at 58, she has just realized that she's been carrying so many limiting beliefs that have held her in a, you don't mind me sharing this, do you? Because you've said it yourself, that have held her, good job really, held her in that place of safety for 58 years. Now, what her mind considered safe was holding her back from living the best version of herself. So the work that Dawn's done, the deep dive work that she's done already, has changed that for her. So when she's saying now that the guilt that she felt when she won the lottery, that's no longer there, because fundamentally her belief system about her living in her, standing in her power, has changed considerably. And that's the way that Claire and I work together. So we're all about delving deep. So whilst this is all surface level stuff that we're talking about today, when you actually work with us, we go in deep. So we go in and we get to the nitty gritty.
Get your goggles on and go.
Get your goggles on. Deborah's asked, I asked a few questions. It's really weird. I swayed some forwards, some backwards. I need to ask a lot more questions. Deborah, just make sure that you understand what your yes and your no is, so that you understand about that, and then just get really, really specific, and then just hone down. So you're trying to make sense of stuff in your life that some of it will be, or some of it will just be learned behavior. Some of it will be learned beliefs. And again, Claire and I also look at human design as part of what we do. Not in massive detail, but we look at look at your centers and how defined they are, and then we can understand as well what fear, like where your fear comes from, where your sickness comes from, how much of that is inherited, how much belongs to yourself. And just knowing those little nuggets can be really, really freeing, because if you've got an undefined spleen center, for example, then you know or we know that the fear that you have for whatever your fears are don't belong to you. And imagine you have got a list of things that you're fearful about, and then all of a sudden you're told, well, they're not your fears, you've just learnt those. That's like that. Okay, then, party time. Let's get rid of those and let's relearn what that's about, because actually they don't belong to me. I've picked them up along the way. So that's how the human how the human compass works. My beliefs are generational. I know that they are not mine, but I feel guilt around breaking the mold. So we need to work on redefining that guilt, Beverly, because that guilt is not helping you. And by you breaking that mold, you are also going to change the lives of the people behind you and the people in front of you and the people that you come into contact with. And that's the power of making change, because you heal those generational beliefs. And I don't know whether you've done any I don't know whether any of you are interested, but I've done quite a lot of work on myself and some psychic work, and I also did some work on the witch wound, again, which is generational healing. And I did this really, really deep meditation around the witch trials. And in the meditation, I saw these 3 women standing in front of me with smoke coming behind them. So they were obviously at the stake. And I was told to put my hand out and put it on the heart of the woman in the middle. And I put my hand out on the heart on the woman in the middle, and I looked up, and it was my daughter. It wasn't her, but inside I knew it was her. So it's almost like so powerful. So you're releasing her from those chains and everyone that's come before her. It's madness, but it releases the physiological impact that those beliefs have had in our cellular health. And that's where the metaphysics side of what we do comes in, because that also can be healed.
Yeah, and the energy gets stored and blocked, doesn't it? In parts of the body, which is why people have got chronic illness, because of the stress in the body and the cellular level. And this is why the world is the way it is right now, because of all of the outside pressures or news that is making us sick. And it's about, we need to let the universal energy flow through us. So by really trusting yourself and listening to the human compass and using it on a daily basis, getting into it to really trust yourself a bit more, because we don't trust ourselves enough.
It is about having that trust and surrendering to it, and that can be really, really uncomfortable for a lot of people that haven't done this. And healing doesn't have to be hard, it doesn't, but you do have to be open to it. And every single one of us needs some sort of healing in some way, and it's just about making sure that you have the right people to see you through it. I have a hiatus and I've been told this is a block from not speaking my truth. Well, I'll have a look at it for you. Yeah. I had fibromyalgia for 14 years. I don't believe I have fibromyalgia anymore. I took opiate pain medication for 12 of those years, and spent my life living in a fog and a haze. And once I started detoxifying my body from all of the chemicals that we use, from all of the drugs, but most importantly, from dealing with the inner work and releasing that trauma that's held within the cells in my body, the pain started to disappear. So actually no amount of drugs would have done that. So once you know that your body is trying to talk to you, whichever way it can, whether that's through illness, whether that's through disability, in some ways, like the hiatus hernia. Let me just have a look at hiatus hernia in my Hong Kong book of Kung Fu.
It's the body as well, isn't it? Trying to keep you safe. So it'll make you physically sick to keep you safe, because it doesn't care about making you happy. It just wants to keep you safe. So there's so many things that can happen, that I call it the beautiful destruction. So it could be, things happen to us that knock that the life that we've got. It could be, you know, a relationship breaks up. It could be that you lose your job. It could be that something happens, you're diagnosed with an illness. But it's those things that can then tell us, wow, friggin' hell, I need to change something in my life here. That relationship wasn't right. That job wasn't right. Okay, the way my body's going physically is not right. So what is it that I need to do to change? But it shouldn't take us to get into that point where you have that breakdown or that to have the breakthrough. We should be able to notice it before it gets really bad.
But we only know what we know, don't we, Claire? And we don't get taught this stuff. This is stuff that we should be in schools.
Absolutely. And this is why
what drives both of us, doesn't it? Like, I don't want anyone to wait till they're 47 or beyond before they learn this stuff. This is stuff that this is stuff that we should be learning very, very early on, and that's our drive. So Beverly, just so metaphysically, Beverly, the hernia, you often push people away as you feel challenged whenever you need to express a boundary. We just talked about boundaries. You don't have to express clear boundaries when people are not around. You feel a great deal of stress and fear of rejection when confronted with circumstances that would require you to express your needs. This may cause you to feel safer when pushing others away. In this way, you avoid being abandoned, rejected, and manipulated by influential people. So there's a lot more to that, but again, it's around boundary management, and which is what you've said, isn't it? You're struggling for telling your truth. You're pushing that down. You're pushing it down into your body. And I think this is one of the things I was going to do a live later, actually, in my group about it, is around your body responding to your emotion. Makes sense. Yeah. So that doesn't surprise me. So that's good. There's a lot more to that, but
right, I'm just conscious of time as well, Jules. It's
okay, let's press on then.
But no, that was great, because that was so useful. Amazing tools to take away. Go on.
So this is just a diagrammatical way of looking at this. So I want to be financially secure with a consistent income. So if you believe that money making is hard, you still want to make a consistent income, but the feeling that goes with that belief is that it feels hard to attract money. Your actions, again, you're just thinking about it, but the results are you'll stay as you are, because if you keep feeling that it's going to be hard to make money, then it will be hard. Does that make sense? You go on to the next slide. When we reprogram that and you actually say making money is easy, and you still know you want to want a consistent income, the feeling is it feels easy to attract money. Again, that's your antenna saying it's easy to attract money. And because you believe that it's going to happen, you're going to take intentional action to make that happen. And the results are you will make money easily. And whilst that is really Mickey Mouse and very simple, that is in effect the mindset switch. Now, it's the mindset switch bit that may be the more difficult bit, because that has been so ingrained in you for so many years. But now that you've got your human compass, you can then decide, you can find out where it's come from. And once you find out where it comes from, you can change it. You can kind of make sense of it. So my money belief was, you can lose money anytime. I used to have this little leather purse, which was, it had stitching around, you know, like you used to get on your holidays, and it must have had about 35p, and I must have been about 8 or 9, and I'd done loads of jobs for it at home. And I walked to Sale where I lived, and then I came back and I lost my purse, and I was absolutely devastated. So I legged it back and I found the purse, and some bugger had taken me 35p. I was absolutely gutted. So that was my belief. If you've got money, you can just lose it really quickly. So keep it safe again, but that doesn't allow the energy to move. So that was my money belief for a million years. Okay.
Those little stories, those little things that fall into us and program us.
Just tiny little things.
Yeah.
Tiny little things. Okay. So making it happen, it's about keeping our vibration high. But believing and feeling, really believing it. Your future self is more energetic, more sociable, more confident. Again, I think we might have a future self meditation somewhere. I know I've got one as part of the life audit, so I could probably share it at some point in our group. But actually visualizing your future self, who you want to be, who she is, what's she wearing, what does she look like, how does she feel, how does she smell, who's around her, all those things. Just see her in your mind's eye. If you can see it, you can touch it, see it, you can hold it in your hand. So think about who she is, who's around you, what your feelings are, and then the sooner that you can start becoming your future self, the sooner she arrives. So, and what I mean by that, when I did this piece of work, so I thought, right, well, the future self doesn't wear grey knickers. She doesn't. So I went upstairs, emptied my knicker drawer, and anything that was minging went, because the future self doesn't wear grey knickers. The future self doesn't wake up with cold tea next to her bed. She wakes up with fresh flowers next to her bed. So I went out and I bought freesias to put them next to my bed. So you can see very simply how you then become your future self one little step at a time. And before you know it, that energy is emitting. You're going to attract that energy and you're going to be delivering who you really should be.
Jules,
Yeah.
I did that the other night again, my future self, and my paycheck was £800,000.
Get in. I'm loving that. 800 grand. Well, I'm happy for that, and I'm not going to take any of it off you, and I don't want you to feel guilty about it. Bloody brilliant. So just a quick one. Your brain doesn't know the difference between your imagination or reality. The universe doesn't know the difference between your imagination or your reality or the reality. So give it what it needs. Just if you act and think and feel like you've already got it, then that is what's going to be delivered. There's something, we'll talk about this in more detail another day, but there's something called the reticular activating system, and it's part of the brain that is it's like the gatekeeper. So all the information that's out there in the universe for us to take in, if we could take it all in, our head would explode. So the RAS, the reticular activating system, only filters in stuff that your brain is ready to receive. So if you're not opening up to the positivity, your brain, the universe, isn't going to show you stuff. So the example that I give in my book is, if you decide that you're going to get a new car and it's going to be red and it's going to be a VW Golf, your brain is then giving you all the information to let in all any information about that VW Golf, and all of a sudden you're going to see that car bloody everywhere. Now the universe hasn't just plonked a load of red Golfs on the streets. Your brain is just open to that red Golf. And it's the same about your opportunities, about creating that wealth, that money mindset, that life that you want. You have to let your brain open up to it. And if that RAS isn't activated, you're not going to see those opportunities. You're not going to see that bloody brilliant life ahead of you. So you need to be living it, feeling it, really embracing it. So when you're looking at stuff, when you would normally say, I can't afford that, the future self wouldn't do that. The future self is going to go, that is mine. I'm going to make that happen. My brain gives me information on everything all at once. It's manic. But that's because of your ADHD, isn't it? So again, write stuff down. I know you write stuff down, Debs, but you put it in like different places. Have a place where you can write stuff down to get clear in your mind. Writing stuff down is a manifestation in itself. You're getting clear about what you want. Get it out into the universe. Again, it's just energy, but energy is everything. So when I say it's just energy, energy is everything. So you need to keep this shit moving. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Next slide. Beautiful. Oh, what area of your life makes you feel poor? What's that? The power of visualization. Okay, so there is science behind this stuff that we're talking to you about. The woo, and there's a book actually called, I can't remember, the woo, the science behind the woo, I think it's called. I've read it on Kindle, and then I bought it so that I could actually highlight stuff in it for people that say it's all bullshit. But athletes enhance their performance by visualizing the race. So when you see the athlete on the starting blocks before they're walking around and they're in the zone, that zone is about them. I'm very sorry, I just need to get back to work. No worries, Tanya. Look, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
They're
Bye.
in that zone, visualizing them crossing that line. and it's scientists have completed experiments that's proved that works. Scientists have completed experiments and proven that muscles can grow just through thought, and learning to play the piano just visually. That's just mad, but it's happened. So again, it's about keeping that vibrational match high and manage your manifestations by creating those visual prompts. So some people will say have a vision board that they look at every day. Some people have it on the phone. We were talking about it before. Claire's got cash splashed around her house like that. We was going to put it behind my glasses like that, sticking a 20 in. So again, just to show that the energy of money is just there. Okay, next one.
I just want to talk quickly on that one around, you know, just seeing money as being everywhere. So even when, you know, you might just win, like, say, £5 on the lottery, celebrating when that comes in, as opposed to whether it's being a £5 or 100 or 1,000 quid. Every time money comes into your life, it's like, ooh. And even when you spend it, like, really feel into it and be like, ooh. And I've got in every room in the house, I have done for about the last 4 years, I've got like notes just dotted around the house, just so that every day I feel like there's money around me. And like even a couple of quid in some of my crystal jars, but everywhere we go, there's just, every room there's money, and money is everywhere to remind me it's everywhere, it's around me, and it comes and it goes. So just going into that, and it probably goes into this slide, doesn't it, about receiving, being playful. What's the money? The money dance that Jules tells us about, and I've done that before. It allows us to be creative. So be creative. Like, we don't just say, well, this is what I do, so I'm just stuck to do this job or to this role. It's like, no, what you really want to do, what you love doing, and create that. And whether that, you know, we create every single day of our lives. So knowing that you're in charge of your day, that you can create it and make it the day, whatever you want from that day. Have fun. It's something that I do forget to do when I get busy with work, and it's a promise I made to myself when the kids were off school for the next 6 weeks. Have fun and belly laughs every day, and we did, and it's made a conscious effort for us. And the energy in the home is better because I create the energy in our home. I'm the one who sets the tone in the house. Most women do. So have fun with it. Don't take anything too seriously. Tap into your intuition. Listen to your higher self. Listen to what your heart's saying. And then allow yourself the time to daydream and imagine, and really get into the imagination thing, because the mind can think of so many beautiful things, but then we end up being too scared to go forward with anything. So I know when we spoke about people wanting to work with me or Jules or together, they're like, oh, I'd love to come and work with you, but I'm actually scared of the change. It might not be, oh, I can't afford it. It's like, I'm actually scared of being a different person, because I don't know what that looks and feels like. I think I might just stay safe now, and even though I am in pain or I've got stuff I want to let go of, I don't know what the other side looks like, even though I know it'll be good. I'm just used to this. So it's like, really get yourself into that visualization of the higher self and imagining who you want to be, and all of that around God. Jules, I did a clear out of grey knickers at the weekend, so I was laughing at that. Every 6 months I get this urge to get like just get rid of stuff. And because once you get rid of stuff and you have a declutter, whether that's a drawer, a wardrobe, a room, you create more energy then and more space for better things to come in rather than stagnant energy.
I found I did my windows yesterday, and it's a difference with your light, isn't it?
Yeah,
Completely.
you're allowing that.
You know, you're allowing extra light, and as daft as it was, I've got a cast iron bed, so I brassoed my bed knobs this morning. As daft as it is, because they do go all mingy and dark. And that gives a totally different energy because it's on your bed as well. You know, it's shining. I suppose the light from the window yesterday, and then I suppose it made it look from a different angle this morning, and I thought, no, I've got to do it now. Whether I'm doing anything else, I've got to spend 10 minutes and just press on my bed. Probably only do it every couple of 6 months or so, but yeah.
it's those things that if you make that space where you are, feel better and, you know, treat it with respect and make it nice so that you know that you deserve these lovely things, because you do deserve to be in a room where it's beautiful or outside in a garden. And then it just subconsciously sends you that message of what you're worth more, you're more valuable, you're tuned into your environment. So 100%.
Yeah, agreed.
Tuning into your energy. So this is what's second to last slide, I think. So taking into action from today and surrender. So make a public declaration. So tell people in your life that you're going to change something. So whether that is I'm working on my mindset for money mindset, or I'm you know, whatever it is, declare it out loud in the positive. Invest in yourself where you can. So whatever part in your life that you really want to make a change, start thinking about how you're going to invest and where you're going to get that money from, all the opportunities. What can you do to invest in yourself, whatever that will be in terms of personal development, or just for you to make yourself more valuable and know that you're worth it. Know it's on its way and act as if it's already here. That's the whole gratitude piece, and practicing every single day 3 things you're grateful for, and really feeling into that presence of the life that you have today, and know that everything is already on its way so that you're in flow. Hang around with people who talk positively about money and about goals and dreams and who encourage you. And, you know, it's all well and good our family and friends being there going, oh, I don't know how you can do that. And, you know, where are you going to get the money from, but running your own business, or why are you buying that car, or whatever it is. Just be with people who are going to question you and support you, and not, you know, you're not just going to live frivolously, but they want to encourage you to be the best person that you want to be in your life. So notice the people who drain you, and then notice the people who light you up, and hang around with those people that light you up. Doesn't mean to say you have to fall out with anyone. Just step back from certain people, and then ask, believe, and you shall receive once you take action.
Yes, exactly.
So what next? So we've got an in-person event that we're doing in January in Liverpool in 2023, and it's going to be a deep dive into personal change and transformation. That is one of our small one-day events that we're going to be doing, that we can really get you in person and do a whole day of this stuff with you in person, with not so we don't want a big group, but we want it to be personable. Like our Facebook page, Space and Freedom, so that you can see anything that we're doing on there. We're going to do like a weekly live. Check out our first in-person retreat in November for transformational change, and that is the deep shit. That's not surface level shit. That is an investment. If you've got any questions on that, let us know. And if you want to speak to us about coaching, training, and mentorship, just feel free. You're already in our space. You're already on our mailing list. Some of you are in our Facebook groups, whether that's free or paid. But if you've got any questions whatsoever, and you want to know more details about the event in Liverpool, or about the event in November, which is the 2-night stay in luxury accommodation, but that's for the deep transformational stuff, then give us a shout, DM us and let us know. And if we will send this Zoom link on again so that you can watch it again. And let's get manifesting. Let's start living the life of space and freedom and what you deserve.
Perfect. Nice one, Cyril. Before we go, ladies, has anyone got any final questions? Oh, what date in January? We haven't confirmed the date yet, Bev, because we're going to ask, what was the question, whether we were going to do it on a weekday?
I wanted to do it in the Hope Street Hotel on a Sunday, but we didn't know whether a Sunday would be good would a Sunday be better or a weekday be better? Because we can't do Saturdays because they always have weddings, but it's a beautiful venue in Liverpool, Hope Street Hotel, top floor, where we can do some nice transformational work for you to come into our world for the day if you want to have a taster with us in real life. So is a Sunday or a weekday better?
I don't mind.
Well, what you wouldn't, because you're a retired lady now.
So the reason why we wanted to do it in January as well, it's either going to be, I was thinking the 8th or the 15th, is so that you can get ready for the rest of the year. We are supposed to be in hibernation in winter in January, and it's a time where we're conditioned to start, you know, doing the goals and all of that. But my thing is, for January, February, March, as human beings, we're in hibernation, we're planning our goals, and then we spring into action come April. So I think January would be a nice time to join us. But then obviously, if you want to go into the deep shizzle in November, then check out the link or speak to me and Jules about it, because we've still got some spaces on that one, but we're looking forward to it. And anything you want to ask, just message us. You're in our space now.
Perfect. There's nothing on the questions on the chat, Claire.
Okay.
But we'll send this out on, we'll send these bits out on the email, won't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And,
thank you for sharing space with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
thank you.
ladies.
We will be in touch then, ladies. Take care of you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.